Yes, this is me, Hudson, just doing a little thing on what I saw in the news. Now, Labor Day gone, right? Now, my topic is Grenada Government, trade unions, workers on unholy unity. The unity between workers, trade unions, and government is in Grenada. Right? Don't take that for granted. Now, government change in Grenada almost 2 years ago. Next month go make 2 years on the 23rd of June. So one of the factors why the NNP government lost the election, they didn't pay pension and gratuity, right? Even though the NNP now in opposition talking about poor and vulnerable, they didn't pay that money. So the NNP, former NNP government was not, and the party still is not, a pro-PRG party. So they should have honored the court ruling and pay the pension money. They didn't pay and they had money. Now the NDC itself, I don't think is a working class party either. But the former NNP government negligence and bad calculation play in the hands of the NDC party. So when the new NDC party come to power, they pay the pension and gratuity. So now we're looking like if trade union leaders, this NDC government, and workers kind of friendly. But the friendship wouldn't last too long. In the future, the friendship going to break up because historically, when we look at trade union, in highly developed countries, trade union are almost dead. When countries like Grenada and them place, trade union is still relevant. It's relevant because workers don't have a lot of options in jobs. So trade unions are still viable, they're relevant. But if the NDC government lasts long, they too might have problems with workers in years to come, and also with the trade union. Or else, I heard in the news, if I heard good, the NDC government is threatening civil servants if they leak government information. So that's a sign. I'm not saying they shouldn't be strict with public servants leaking government information, but there's also a twist to it. Culturally in Grenada, new workers in public service don't just get a job just so. Some jobs in places like Grenada, 98% of the time is political. So with the government warning civil servants, if they leak government information, they go face the consequences. It shows that in the future, most public workers are going to be pro-government supporters. You got to think deep. So you go have me in a way where in the next, if the Dickley Mitchell administration make 2 more terms beside this term, the public service will be packed with pro-NDC supporters. So they will reach a stage now where the workers might want to raise a pay and afraid to say. You understand? This is the bad thing with third world politics. They will be scared to say, or else they might rebel against the government. The trade union leaders themselves, the bread and butter is from workers. That's the next thing. So the Labor Day thing is still hot. The NNP failed to pay the public service workers their money. Again, which I think was stupid in them and talking about poor and vulnerable. But I know in years to come, the same present government will have some problem with public workers because the cost of living will be going up. The question is, will the ruling party, the government, just say, okay, you know what, let workers complain and say cost of living high and you raise the pay. Don't expect you to see that. Government, you just give people money, so. Right? That could be a other thing. So, the Labor Day thing, it's all still. In our government, those things happen. So, until people get disgruntled, but then again, another point I want to make, the way the government is going, and they tend to be taking advice from former PRG people. I never hear about workers that strike in Cuba, right? Or other countries with systems similar to Cuba. The question is workers in those countries happy? So the way we're going, in 15 years to come, as I said, most government workers will be pro-government in power. And these new workers will be kind of loyal to that regime. And if we go in that way where we heading now, what I find you looking at, you will have party loyalists working for the government. Yeah. So all the institutions in Grenada, even though we might have a democracy, as they say, it looks like if all the institutions in Grenada policies will be amalgamated with former PRG operatives, political lining. So how far we're able to go on that? We cannot do like the PRG. We cannot change the constitution without a referendum. Right? So these are things we have to look at. And every time I hear NNP political activists talking about poor and vulnerable, they too must come clean and say they make a mistake with not paying the civil servants the money. And as long as they won't say that, they're making the ruling party look good. You understand? Then I will switch a little bit. I listen to GBN. What I observe on GBN these days, you have pro-government people bawling, oh, government doing good. Government doing good. With economy growing, I see all that on Facebook, and the people who post in those things, it seems like if there's a never-ending campaign between NNP and NDC politicians, and they advocate. The campaign never ends. And the campaign never ends, and sometimes both set of activists must be talking nonsense. For example, if the economy grow 3%, they say how much? Tourism still the #1 economy. The new government cannot take praise for that. As the farmer, as the Attorney General Clyde Joseph said, government is continuous. So if it's continuous and they didn't break down the hotels, or chase away the man from Calivini Island, and they didn't chase away the guy who built, the Egyptian guy who built them big hotel, and the one in the building last suggest at least big hotels. There's 5 stars on them. They didn't chase the developers away. So it's business as usual. So if for the government to say the administration is doing good, then it kind of sounds hypocritical, because the government gives the impression that there isn't too much tourists. And the agriculture people, they get fooled. Now we had Union Parade in Sotez. Was there any agriculture, there was any union organization representing agriculture workers? I'm not saying maybe they were not. I don't know if there are unions still representing agriculture workers. Government have a few estates still, and the Gary Union around. There was a union once that they call Bank and General Workers Union. I'm not too sure if those things still alive. So it shows again where this present government is either they come to realize that tourism is where the thing is. They're supposed to realize, oh, they knew before, and they were just politicking. So when I listen to GBN to the point and I hear some of the voices, I know them already. Oh, the government is going good. Thing is growing. The government could only be doing good when the government add on industries, or modify or enhance. At least they didn't close down the hotels. So tourists coming still. That's where the bread and butter is. And I think it is time for trade unionists and politicians, both NNP and NDC, to come clean. Come clean and tell the Grenadian people, oh, the people in agriculture, tell them plain agriculture cannot be like before. Because you have some people saying, this new government promised them to revive agriculture. They're talking about educate people. Instead of getting academias, left-wing communists and sympathizers of communism to go around with it, telling history how they want and trying to teach people how great Maurice Bishop was when he was a old dictator who take away people's rights. The government should have a program to go about and tell the people of the farmers how the trade on the international market affecting countries like Grenada. Then you go and tell the farmers you go revive this and you go revive that. And most of the farmers, they don't know, they might believe. And then the NNP government might start going and tell the farmer again, oh, put me in power and I could make it better. And when they come, they themselves cannot make it better. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's all confusion in Grenada politics, and I believe as time go too, that NDC government might find a lot of people get pissed off with them. As they get closer to creating all these institutions that is close to them with left-wing affiliations. Because they are Grenadians who don't believe in left or right. They're just Grenadian. They don't have a bag of ideology on the back. They won't sit down easy. They're going to challenge. You see? So, then again, we have the NNP thing. I sound to the point. Miss Emlyn P and people was asking a question. But some of the questions they were asking to me, I don't know. It's either the people don't understand politics, or either they don't understand politics, or they think Kit Mitchell or Peter David are favor, or they are Peter David supporter. Common sense would tell the people who are asking Miss Pierre's question on to the point that the way thing is going inside the NNP party, if it is true that a section of the NNP core doesn't want Peter David, it don't make sense asking Miss Pierre that question because Miss Pierre is the original NNP. So the question they should have asked her is if the NNP government was in an alliance or coalition with the Peter David faction. You understand? So I understand Grenadian politics, how they just advocate. So the campaign between NNP and NDC advocates, it will continue till the next election, and so then the thing that has be arguing doesn't make sense. And then you on Facebook, you might make a post. Both group of people have a phobia for each other. So the common enemy for the NDC is Kit Mitchell. You know, like when we were growing up and we were Jewel, and then when the revolution come, and Bishop and them do what they do with people. Some people still sympathize with them because they say, if Gary come back, what consequences it could cause? Because Gary might come back with a revenge. And as time go, people say to hell with it, we don't scared if Gary come back. The PRG going too far. You understand? So the NDC had to learn that if the phobia that most Grenadians have for Kit Mitchell, who was not as ruthless, not nearly ruthless as Bishop regime, how long that phobia going to last for Kit Mitchell? The phobia is not a broad-based phobia of fear, because Mitchell didn't detain in people. So he didn't detain in people, he didn't have a prison put in people. Nobody didn't get tortured. It was all his political game he was playing, and in the end he miscalculated. So the politics getting sweet as we come in for 2 years. So the NDC have the next 2 years before election in the third year to come. Because there are 3 years to go. To do something to put a mark. So when the election come, they go say, okay, well, I had this project, I had this, that, or I had that. But what the NDC is taking credit for is all NNP program. And they pay off civil servants, and so they clear out the debts the NNP government was owing the civil servant. So they score some points right there. But they need to put on something. They need to put on something, and so, so when they call in the radio and saying thing good here, thing good, it's just a continuation. We got to see something new happening. You understand? It's politics as usual, People keep campaigning against each other. Both political party is galvanizing the support on phobia for each other. Phobia, fear. What is the fear? None of the two parties is fighting with guns, so what is the fear? You understand? Another thing I see again in Parliament, they were arguing about gun law. The gun law. Government cannot pass a law to just jail people indefinitely if they have a gun. Or if you not have, you catch them with a gun. Some people might directly have a gun. But somebody could plant a gun on somebody too. Somebody could go in an next person's house and put a gun. So let us say somebody break into your house, put a gun, and still call the police and say they saw you with a gun. And when the police go and search your house, they get a gun. The same person who plant the gun in your house, right, who call and say you have a gun. When the police come and charge you, you should stay in jail for indefinitely or whatever is the charge. No. The way the government could make a law for gun is if you hold the gunman red-handed. You have to be red-handed in the sense that you show that person is a gunman. It's just like drugs. Somebody could plant drugs on somebody. It's easy. So, I don't know, Then I see again this man in there talking about marijuana. Well, when they decriminalize marijuana in Grenada, you will see more vagrant in Grenada, more delinquents. Because in Canada, where they decriminalize marijuana, people free to smoke, yes, it's true, but I find I seeing more kind of people like, because it's freedom, Some people overdo the freedom too, so you open the next can of worm. But then again, government says a young people government. How much percent of young people smoking marijuana? You understand? Who is they do a research on alcohol. Government tax alcohol because, and they say sugar is unhealthy. Well, okay. Tax on alcohol and so. But where is we starts on the lifespan of people that smoking marijuana? How sure, and if you globally, we have to know what effect marijuana have on users in terms of life expectation. Not only mental health, that's the next thing we have to look like. Because on the news in England, they want to pass a law for English kids 15 years and under. They're passing a law against smoking for them. Right? Because they say cigarette, I think the news saying cigarette smokers developing a health problem, and he putting a burden on the government. So you can't tell me marijuana is not a cigarette too, because smoke going in your lungs. You understand? So anyway, this unity I see with trade unions, government, and workers. We're heading for. Are we going to have a one-party state when our institution is being hijacked by past PRG people? How they want to implement that one-party state? If that's the option, it don't look like if everything is locked down. Because once a government is setting up things like you want to write history for school, you want to implement a particular language that people should learn. I'm not against different languages. And a lot of little things, he kind of looking where we heading, you know. Now, as I said, people are telling me are thinking way too forward. But I don't think in way forward. I thinking based on past experience. Because some of the things that where the PRG was heading until when they get overthrown, we get to know what's going on when the invasion. And as I always say again, the location of Grenada, we got to tread very carefully with politics as a little country. Anyway, I go on, you know, till I come again.